Hello everybody, thank you for tuning into the Forgotten Film channel. What I have for you today is a forgotten short film. This is entitled The Requiem for Tina Sanchez. It was released in 1976 by the New York City Police Department in an effort to bring awareness to teenage runaways, drug abuse, and prostitution. So thank you for watching. Make sure that you have a great today. I hope that tomorrow's even better for you.
Been on the streets 3 months?
Yep.
New York City?
Nope.
Monticello?
The police picked up this girl because she looked too young to be out on her own. She's hiding her face because she's in a police station. Soon the police will find out she's a 15-year-old runaway from Ohio whose absence has been reported to the police. Tina Sanchez was a teen hooker too, but no one reported her missing. She outsmarted the police by looking older than her years. After her body was found, everyone learned she was only 15 years old. Tina and other runaway girls take to the road out of fierce anger, anxiety, and depression. Theirs is a drama of conflict between generations, acted out on the street, sometimes ending in the grave. The Minnesota Strip, a tawdry section of New York City, where pimps make money exploiting the bodies of the young. The strip runs from 40th to 50th Street along 8th Avenue. It got its name from the state, Minnesota, which has very strict prostitution laws. New York's more lenient laws have attracted hundreds of Midwestern, middle-class girls, mostly white, many under 16, runaways, a new breed of prostitute. The parents of these children have reported them missing. Their photographs are being circulated to police nationwide. Many of them are runaways who will end up turning tricks on the Minnesota Strip. Police estimate that more than 1 million youngsters ran away last year, twice as many as in 1969, the time of the Woodstock generation. The number may be higher. Not all parents report their children missing. Some are push-outs, throwaway children parents don't want to hear from again. 70% of the runaways picked up in New York City are female, average age between 7 and 14. Most girls have heard about the Minnesota Strip before they arrive. They know that a fast buck can be made there by turning tricks, money that means freedom to stay away from home longer. 60% of the girls come from small, out-of-state, look-alike towns.
I have been to those little towns, and they're from yesterday. They're not today. And all you have to do is live in one of those towns and watch the news or watch TV or just go to the movies and see that there's a whole new world, especially in New York City.
Young girls arrive daily at the bus station, alone, frightened, broke, and vulnerable.
A lot of pimps work the bus terminal, and you see this little girl walking off the bus, bewildered, doesn't know where she is and what's going to happen, and he approaches her. He knows exactly what to say. He knows exactly what she wants to hear. And she's at the point right there. She probably has left home because nobody wants to listen to her. And she's really starving for somebody who cares, even though he's only going to pretend, of course. And he just cons her into believing that, yeah, baby, I understand. I can be your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, which is a very famous pimp line.
Warren McGinnis and Jim Greenlee, New York City's two-man runaway squad, are in fierce, silent competition with an enemy. The enemy is the pimp. The police try to get the runaways before the pimps do, before the youngsters become victims of crimes.
Just watch down here to your left there, down by the coffee shop down there. I think possibly that's just a couple on a date from Jersey there.
And these little girls coming into it, wow, they're going to be eaten up alive. They are. There's nothing but sharks out here waiting for them. Going to use them for their own goals.
It's 10 p.m. Time for the Runaway Squad to make a routine check on the Minnesota Strip.
The children that run away from home today are not the children that we had running away in the 60s. In the 60s, we had what we call then flower children. And they ran away basically for socio-political reasons. It was more a thing to do, a socially acceptable thing to do than running away is today. Today, children are running from a situation rather than to a situation. Today, we don't have much structure in the home. We have a materialistic and very permissive society. Many youngsters can't deal with that because they are, after all, youngsters, and they're looking for guidelines and they're looking for discipline. They're expecting some structure in their homes and in their lives. They go to schools that have rules that nobody bothers to enforce, and they live in homes where people are striving to make sure that they never have to do any suffering or never have to do anything that's difficult. Very often they're coming here just seeking that type of structure. And they'll come here and they'll give themselves over to somebody who will supply the structure. Someone who will punish them when necessary, who will keep them in line, who will tell them what to do and when to do it. And someone who will require something of them, who will put them out to work. And obviously they don't care much at what kind of work they're put out. The girl today will come in and throw herself at the feet of a man and say, I'll work for you. You just be my father and my lover and my director, and I'll do anything you want me to do. It's a situation where she's more than willing. She's a willing participant in what seems to be a very dreadful situation.
A young girl is spotted wandering aimlessly. She carries no identification and is vague about her family. The Runaway Squad takes her in to find out if she's of legal age in New York. 16. If she's not, she'll be classified as a juvenile and sent home or to youth authorities. No record of the police pickup will appear anywhere.
Yes, Lieutenant, how are you? This is Police Officer McGinnis, New York City calling.
Yeah, Mama.
We have a young lady down here that we would like to determine if there are any missing persons alarms or juvenile warrants for. Can you connect me with someone that might be able to help me? Okay. We believe we have...
Karen turned out to be 17, 1 year above the legal age. Although pregnant, homeless, and jobless, she does not have to be returned to her parents or the courts. Legally, Karen is an adult. Producer Pat Lynch asked Karen what happened since she arrived in New York City from upstate New York.
Well, I got picked up for prostitution, raped twice. Once when I was 13 and a half, almost 14. And then again about a year ago.
Was this when you were hitchhiking or on the street? Or?
No, I was just walking around, talking with a few friends.
Were you ever engaged in prostitution here?
Once, when I got the case.
Do you ever get frightened about picking somebody up and who that person may be?
Not anymore.
Do you blame your mother for what's happened?
I don't blame my mother. To me, she owes me the rest of my life.
Do you think the rest of your life is over?
No. She owes me something that she never gave me. A little love and attention and showed that she cared, which she never did. She got me home when I was 11 because I cussed out a foster mother that I loved dearly to go home to her. And 2 months later, I just got thrown out in the street, which to me is nothing but hatred. She owes me something. I don't owe her nothing.
Young, inexperienced girls are easy prey for slick, smooth-talking pimps who offer a home, an opportunity to get back at unloving parents, and a job. Teen hookers can earn $50 to $75 a trick. Soon the youngster is turning over all her earnings to her new daddy, who gives her an allowance of fun money and pays her rent in trick hotels that don't ask questions.
They're on a total guilt trip, and they're looking to escape and rebel against their past, family, very heavy things in their head, problems. And they're looking to get back at certain people, and this is one of the main reasons they're involved. But they also would like discipline. They want to be put in their place once in a while. On a different level, of course. They would like to be told what to do and have a sort of father-mother image, but the stronger of the two dominates, and that's a father image. So they come to a pimp.
During a routine identification check, this girl was picked up in an area frequented by prostitutes. She said she'd been kidnapped last year by a pimp. She claimed to be 16. The police checked her story with relatives.
First off, let me tell you, nobody's in any trouble or hurt or anything. We have a young lady here that appeared very young to us, and she was unable to identify herself. She tells us that you are a friend of her family, and possibly you would know the whereabouts of her mother. She gives us the name of Marilyn. Uh-huh.
I can't make it 20 hours. I'm going to have to use the 20 hours.
Okay, when was her date of birth?
I'm 15. My birthday's
You turned 15 in September.
That's right.
21.
Is that you, dear?
Yeah.
Okay. We struck oil here. This kid has aged about 5 years in the last year. Why don't I just put her on the phone and you tell her that?
Wasn't I the last time I got picked up for prostitution? It's fun out here. $410 the past 3 days. It's fun money. It's not bad money.
Producer Pat Lynch spoke with Tammy.
But Tammy, where is it going to all go if you continue living
I
like
don't
this?
care where it's going. I like it out there.
What do you like about it?
I just like it. There ain't nothing that I could say what I like about it because it ain't no fun turning tricks and shit, but I just like it.
Aren't you afraid sometimes?
No.
You know what happens sometimes.
Yeah, I know
That girl
what's out there. I know. I know.
Aren't you afraid it's going to happen to you?
No, I'm Miss Wise ass thinking it never could happen to me, but it almost did last year.
What happened?
I got kidnapped last year. And it's just that I don't care. I just like it out there, and I like the people. That's all.
Are you afraid this is going to hurt your grandmother?
I don't care, because I don't like her. She don't understand.
Do you want to end up the same way your mother is at 30?
I don't care. I just like it out there. And I always will be one.
Why do you say you always will be one?
Because I know I will. I like
Because your
it.
mother is?
No, it ain't because she is.
Well, why then?
I don't know.
Tammy was sent back to juvenile authorities in Ohio. She will remain there until she's 18, Ohio's legal age. She was brought up here in Canton by her grandmother. Tammy was illegitimate.
I had raised Tammy ever since she was born. I had her ever since she was born. Her mother was young. She would not change any diapers. She wouldn't do anything for Tammy.
When Tammy was 12 years old, she ran away twice to Skid Row in Canton, where young white girls can make $50 a trick, more than twice as much as older prostitutes and young black girls.
The court had sent Tammy into that home in Florida, black man, white woman. And I still say that possibly was such a shock to her. I could be wrong, but I think it was such a shock to Tammy. I blame my daughter, I blame the court. I think I'm too strict with Tammy. I'm an old fogey to her, and I can't see a lot of these things, the clothes, and I can't see a child smoking cigarettes. Her mother will buy her a pack of cigarettes, and I can't see it. I just can't see it.
The court stepped in 1974 and allowed Tammy to live with her mother in Florida as she requested. Tammy's mother and grandmother don't speak. The grandmother says her daughter has had 5 other children, all by different men. Producer Pat Lynch spoke with Tammy's mother.
Lynn, why didn't you raise Tammy?
Well, I had her when I was 15 years old. I was too young. I didn't want any responsibility of a baby. I wanted to go out and go to parties and have fun. And then I married, and when we divorced, I knew when I left home that I really had no education to get a job, so I couldn't take care of her adequately, so I chose to leave her with my grandmother.
What do you think is going to happen to Tammy?
Death. Call it mother's intuition or a bad feeling that I have in me, but that's all that can happen. At 15 years old, you can't be involved in prostitution, pornography, movies, burlesque, hitchhiking halfway across the United States, and eventually your luck has to run out, and it's got to be just death.
Life as an urban nomad, a runaway on city streets, is usually unhappy, violent, and relatively short. Karen Baxter, 15, a runaway from Massachusetts, survived here only a few months. She was murdered by a customer in a sleazy hotel last February.
Take a walk up, see if he's up there.
This specially trained police unit is on pimp patrol. They're trying to make streets safer for young, inexperienced girls by arresting pimps before the violence begins. A pact of silence among street people makes their job very hard.
The violence could come when the girl finds out that's not her bag. She wants out. Now the pimp would assume the father, right? Saying, hey girl, you gotta do this. And he'll give her a damn beating, either with the heel of his shoe or with a coat hanger. The violence could come later on. Once the girl is turned out, she's into the feel of pros, where the girl is given a quota of money to bring in a night, and she doesn't meet this quota. At first, she may get 1 or 2 warnings, and if it continues that she don't bring in her quota, then again, he would give her a beating with the heel of his shoe, or a coat hanger, or burn her skin with a cigarette butt. I heard of that.
About 92% of the runaways get frightened by the street and return home or are picked up by the police and sent home. The rest wander around in self-lacerating confusion until they become part of the subculture of violence and criminality, or are destroyed by it. Older prostitutes often tip police patrolling the strip about runaways who are cutting into their business or who meet a violent end.
I'm not looking for you.
You heard about Tina?
No, Tina,
Sanchez?
Yeah, what happened to her?
They found her in the Bronx with her throat cut.
Good God, you're kidding.
That's
What the heck was she doing in the Bronx in the first place?
I don't know.
I can't believe that.
I know. I just got out of jail and came up here and somebody told me about it.
Tina Delero, alias Tina Sanchez, runaway at 11. Prostitute at 13. Dead at 15. Her body was dumped beside garbage under the Whitestone Bridge, November 26th. Cause of death, strangulation. Tina's throat had been slit from ear to ear. She was last seen on the Minnesota Strip, November 18th. Her pimp, missing since the murder, is a prime suspect.
It's nothing to hear that a girl got killed or that a girl got beat up. It's occupational hazard. It happens to everybody. It's not a novelty. It's not, oh, wow, did you hear what happened to so-and-so? It's, oh, yeah, well, she's the third one today, or she's the third one this week. I don't know, like the money and the fur coats and the cars, they make the pain go away faster.
Tina ran away from her mother's first-floor apartment in Dobbs Ferry 2 years ago. She never knew her real father and spent little time with her 4 brothers and sisters scattered in various state institutions. They do not know that she is dead.
Her mother used to take her out with her, and they used to go to a local bar, and each one would pick up a guy, and this is, you know, when Tina was very young, and she probably didn't even know what she was doing at that time and felt it was just something her mother wanted her to do. And they would go out and they would prostitute themselves, and then they would take the money and her mother would go out and buy booze and drink it away, and they'd do it again, you know. Her mother wasn't a mother. That's all I can say. That's about as blunt as I can put it to really describe it. To be a mother, you should show love, and I feel that her mother showed absolutely nothing towards Tina. And Tina felt very rejected and was looking for love, and I think the only thing that she knew, the only way she knew how to get it was to go out and become what she became. I feel terrible. I wish there was something I could have done, really. I wish I could have been a closer friend and gotten to know her better. She really had no place else to go. She didn't have a father to turn to. She didn't have really anybody to turn to except for Sergeant Pirelli and the few friends that she did have.
She called me on occasion from New York City. She didn't come out and say it, but she did mention that I would ask her if everything was all right, and she'd say, everything is fine. My old man has taken good care of me. She always questioned, no matter how bad things were at home, she always was concerned about her mother and how her mother was. And I think she trusted me, but she didn't trust me enough because she knew I would go and get her and try to bring her back. Tina did many things. I don't think she could have ever come back and functioned in a small town like this after she had had the life of a prostitute in New York City, because she was night clubbing and naturally turning tricks. How could she function with kids 14 and 15 from a village like this? I think for the first time in her life, she felt security, because she had the pimp that would buy her clothes, would feed her, gave her a roof over her head, and if she got busted, he would come and bail her out. She visited nice nightclubs. She was in the company of wealthy people. She thought she was quite the thing. She thought her life was really great, that she was doing good for herself. She thought she was a success.
They said she knew too much, so they killed her.
You find them.
When I find out I'm getting a sort of shotgun, I'm going to blow his brains out.
He's been on
15 years old.
At a time when the number of runaways is increasing, funds to help them are decreasing. The runaway squad in New York City consists of 2 men for 5 boroughs. They used to have 8 men. Some cities have no runaway squad at all. The pimp squad was abolished last July. Men in that detail now work on a variety of cases. Money is tight in most big cities. Special police units are often the first to go when budgets are cut. The federal government has allocated $5 million this year for runaways. 66 projects will help between 30 to 40,000 young people this year. But what about the rest of the million or more runaways? 21 states have no facilities at all. Too many youngsters are becoming part of another lost generation because no one cares.